One of the biggest questions that I get from home buyers is whether they should buy a new home or buy an existing home. And it can be an exhausting decision to try to figure out and navigate what the right fit is for you. There is no one right answer, but there is a right answer depending on your budget and timeline and location restraints. I love helping buyers in both these situations, trying to navigate and find the right situation for you and your family's needs. My name is Morgan Putnam, and I'm a local realtor. Let's get into it. Thank you so much for stopping by the Omaha Insider YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you're always the first to know what's going on in Omaha. First and foremost, we're going to talk about some of the big differences that people don't necessarily always think about. So of course, obviously with new construction, you get new things. So you get like a new HVAC, you get a new roof, you get everything is new from the beginning. So you're always going to be paying a premium upfront to get all of those new items. A big benefit of that is way less maintenance early on of your home ownership. However, you still want to be maintaining that property because if your HVAC isn't being serviced every year, it's not going to last nearly as long. Something people don't always think about with new construction is that there tends to be a little bit of a longer timeline for you to be able to move into the house, especially if you're building a semi-custom or a custom home. That timeline can be 6 months at the absolute shortest, and that does not happen very often. And it's usually about a year to get into a custom home, and sometimes longer. New construction is also going to be in a more suburban location. So you can occasionally find new construction homes in a more central Omaha location, but typically you're going to be out in the suburbs, whether that's Gretna, Papillion, Bennington, somewhere that's going to be more of a 15, 20, 25 minute to even 30-minute drive into the central Omaha area. Something you can get with an existing home that you're not going to be able to get with new construction is mature landscaping, mature trees, maybe homes with a little bit more character, and neighborhoods that tend to just feel a little bit more established. One of my favorite things is that you're not going to be living in a neighborhood that has endless construction happening like you will in new construction. So those are just some of the bigger picture things to think through when you're considering whether new construction is the right fit for you or if you want to move forward with an existing home. Oftentimes, this decision comes down to just straight up looking at the numbers of what you're going to be paying for new construction versus what you can get for a house that is existing. So the average price point in the last 6 months for all of the new construction that has sold, the price per square foot is $263. I'm filming this video in January of 2026, so we're looking at the last 6 months to really get the most accurate data. And so lately in the Omaha market, we've been seeing a slowdown, especially with new construction. So I would say that that price is probably about $10 to $15 less per square foot than what we have been seeing as pretty standard. We're comparing that $263 a square foot in new construction to $220 per square foot for existing homes. So we're looking between $361,000 on average for existing and then $488,000 for new construction. So those are obviously very different price points, and is something to think about, that you get that peace of mind with new construction. You usually get a 1-year builder warranty, in the systems like the HVAC, water heater, all of those sorts of things tend to have a 5-year warranty. So you get a lot of warranties that you're not going to necessarily get with existing homes. However, it's a lot cheaper. So you tend to have more money to maybe make those updates if a house needs updates, or to just build up your savings. And another thing to keep in mind when you're considering new construction or existing homes is that new construction price that usually does not include things like blinds. It doesn't always include a washer and dryer or a fridge. So there are a lot of things that you still have to have the money for after you purchase that new construction home to make it really feel and function like the house that you want. So in Omaha, if you end up spending that $488,000 that you were going to spend on new construction on an existing home, you tend to get a lot more bang for your buck. So you might get a house that really needs no updates. Your money tends to go quite a bit further in existing homes, but ultimately, there's that piece of the American dream where a lot of people want to build their own dream house. And so you just have to know that you're going to be paying a premium, and that's really best to stay there for at least 5 years. It's pretty risky and hard to make back all of the money that you spent on that new construction home if you have to sell it within 2 or 3 years. It's really best if you can hold on to it for at least 5 years, just so you make sure that you're not upside down on the house or that you're making some good money when you sell. New construction tends to be in the suburbs, and so your traffic and drive time tends to be quite a bit higher than folks who live in a more central Omaha location. So the main locations that you can find new construction at in Omaha is Elkhorn, Gretna, Papillion, some of in Bellevue, in Bennington. So those are some of the main areas where there's still a lot of development happening and where you can find a lot and build your dream house. And a lot of those will have that 20 to 30-minute drive time into central Omaha. As I've mentioned, there tends to be quite a bit of a different timeline with existing and new construction. You can sometimes find new construction that will be ready to be moved into right away. And so that would be a spec home. So some builders who do a lot of volume, they'll build a house and fully complete it and then just list it and sell it. And so you can have that same 30, 45-day timeline that you can for existing homes. But if you're picking out a lot and the house that you want built on that lot, it's better to plan on around 12 months, maybe 10, maybe 8, best case scenario. But like 8 months to 14 months is pretty standard for semi-custom or fully custom house. I've already covered some of the hidden costs of buying new construction once you close on the house and you realize all the things that you need to do to make it function how you want it to. But then there's also the cost of rising property taxes that you don't necessarily know about and budget for when you buy a new construction home. You have to know that usually the lot is the only thing that's assessed when you buy and close on that house. And so your taxes might be $800, $1,000 a year. But then within 2 years, it's usually fully assessed up to that purchase price. And maybe the first year you'll get about 3/4 of the way there to that purchase price of what you paid for the house. So it can easily jump from $1,000 up to $10, $12, $14,000 a year in property taxes. With any house, there's always going to be some sort of surprise along the way. And so with existing homes, it's great to always plan for and budget for, knowing that you're going to have to do some improvements and some bigger upgrades while you're living there. So whether that might be the sewer line needs replaced or the HVAC needs replaced, these things can range anywhere from $5,000 up to $10,000, $15,000. And so it's just always good to be saving and budgeting, knowing that something can go wrong at some point and that it can be expensive. Those are kind of the big overall things to consider when you're looking at new construction versus existing homes in Omaha. I have a free neighborhood guide on my website if you want to download it and find out what neighborhood might be best for you and your needs. It's a super helpful guide. You can also reach out at 402-720-9886 or email me at morgan@heymorganputnam.com. I'd be happy to help you navigate new construction versus existing homes in the Omaha Metro.